Come on. These are bow hunters hunting from the truck, I think. They're cruising slow, hoping to see some deer, jump out, make a shot, not have to walk very far, bring home a deer. I think that's what they're doing. On the technical ride up on the KTM 690 Enduro R, still in TMP, I passed several bow hunters. Most of them on foot, but these guys look like they are truck hunting. Yeah, I kind of have a problem with that. I think it's illegal too. If that's what they're doing, who knows? Maybe they're just slow cruising. Hard to say. But there is another truck hunter out here, I think. There's a four-wheeler out there. It's Saturday, that's why they're up. I mean, I'll come up during a weekday to this area. There ain't nobody up here. It is vacant. So I knew coming up on a Saturday, I'd find some folk. Really nice tree line right here. It's open meadow. I think we're at like 8,000, 8,300 elevation. I'm not sure. I don't have my GPS on. I was just scoping these mountains right here, by the way. And right through here is a family of mountain goats. I'll zoom in. Maybe you can see them if I get the right place. They're a white speck. Specks as in plural. You might be able to see them. Really cool area. I mean, it's so cool coming up here. But because of the four-wheel drives coming up like this, when it's really dry, it's really rutted the roads out. I mean, it's a rocky ride up on a motorcycle. Had to be really careful in a couple places, which kind of brings us to the subject of this video. In field, Nut and Fancy project. Is this $15 first aid kit worth carrying along on an adventure like this? Or ones like it? If you look down below, I'll find one just like it that are affordable and that purport to be a complete first aid kit, you know, ready to handle an emergency like I would have out here. Now, in some ways, it's good to have other people around in case, I don't know, I got hurt, I dumped it on the bike, had a problem. It's good to have people around to help you. Maybe there's a mechanical malfunction I can't fix with my toolkit, all that. But like I said, usually I'm alone out here, dudes. And if I dump it, if I get a bleeder or something, it's up to me to stop it. So I've been making first aid kits all through TMP. You can look those up. I have one on the level 1, the level 1 plus, a story of first aid. I have one on the level 2 kits, and probably a lot more philosophy winding its way through all the videos. I think you should be prepared. I think you should be, as much as possible, as much as SAWC will permit, self-sustaining, just like my system is today. So there's my gear bag. It's on the rack of the KTM 690. So this is a rack. I built this aluminum plate. If you go watch our 500 and 690 update posted, I think last year, we talk about it and you can kind of see the mods. What a great bike though. I mean, really perfect for this. For the first aid kit review though, what I'm going to do is kind of pit it against one of my level 1 pluses that I manufacture, that I put together, that I made videos on, and I know more than a few TMPers did as well. So we're going to see, does this stack up against that? And the way we're going to do this, I'll just put it on the tripod. We'll do a motorcycle top review. Sorry for the winds, dudes. It is what it is here in the woods in the mountains of Utah. Oh, I think that's good right there. What do you think? Perfect. This will be fun. Okay, I haven't studied this kit at all, so we're gonna just do it right now and take a look at it. First, the case. I actually don't mind the case. I think the size is just about right. It has zipper pulls, albeit of low quality nylon, but at this price point, that's kind of what you need to expect. I don't mind the color. The stitching's good. The zippers seem to be decent. I really like the case, actually. It's kind of hard to find the right size case for a first aid kit. And again, this is the Be Prepared, Get Prepared. That's not really a catchy name. 123 piece first aid kit. Now, compared against my selection of carry case, which one would I prefer? This one. Now, this will have zippered compartments. I like that. I think that's awesome. But I can carry more stuff in this, and it's streamlined. This is actually a Klein zippered toolkit, and I get them off Amazon. Again, I'll put the link below. I've never found a case as good as this. It does not have interior pockets, I understand this, but I'm going to show you my organization system, and if you've seen my fact videos, you know what I'm talking about. It really doesn't matter. I sew the Velcro on the exterior. I find these first aid patches, and I put these on myself. It did not come this way, so all this is my sewing, this is my sewing, and then I can dig through what is usually a black duffel bag and find my FAK, right? So digging into the $15 or so, it might be 13, 15, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's inexpensive. First aid kit, what do we find? Well, low quality nylon, low quality stitching, low quality everything as far as construction, but the question is, does it really matter? This isn't something you're probably going to be accessing that much, so I'm not sure if it matters that much. We have a cold compress here. You got me beat there, $15 first aid kit. I don't have that because it's a little bit heavy, and I'm going to opt to carry other things. So it's got me beat on that. A cold compress, that's cool. The thing about cold compress is I'll put this in the comfort category. So let's say you have an ankle sprain hiking. Would this help? Yeah, it would, but I would just assume maybe pack it with snow, find something indigenous, cold water, and then pack some Aleve with me. Some anti-inflammatories, over-the-counter anti-inflammatories. This is a little too heavy. I've never put a cold compress in any of my first aid kits because it's a comfort thing. Have a basic manual made of paper. You see I just tore that opening up. They should make it of Tyvek. Anything that's made of paper is going to get destroyed. It's either going to get wet, Murphy's Law, or it's just going to just get torn up and ratty over time. I like all this. It shows bleeding, burns, treatment of it, really basic stuff, and then some contact information. Not sure if it has a writing instrument in there though. Not made of Tyvek. And then we have a space blanket here. Basic space blanket. Here's the deal on space blankets, and this is just my opinion. They are way oversold in their capabilities. The thing is, if you have someone that's experiencing shock, and I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not purporting to be, Joe Medical here, but I do know somewhat how to treat shock and how to keep people warm. It's hard to get rid of thermal conductivity. So if you're on a cold ground and you put this space blanket on, it's not going to do much because it's going to go right through the mylar and make them cold. You need fleece, you need down, you need polyester, you need some type of insulative material. In addition to this, what this can do is maybe break the wind. Breaking the wind. I'm not talking about farting. I'm talking about like we're experiencing up here. Nature's wind. Awesome. This is really the heart and soul of any first aid kit, if you ask me. So here we're looking in the $15 first aid kit. We've got 4 2-inch gauzes, and then we've only got 2 4x4s. We do have at least one 5x9 pad. So this is what I call a major bleeder pad. So this is your capability of stopping what will be the most serious thing that you'll encounter with your first aid kit, and that is a major bleed. You're going to see in mine, I probably have a bit more than that. But that's not bad. I mean, that's better than first aid kits had like 10 years ago. It's a lot better, actually. And you can plus up all the stuff you see. So you could buy this one. It would give you a head start. You have a functional carry case, and then you can put in more gauze. You can put in more 4x4s, and you can stuff this thing like a chipmunk cheek. Then we go into the medicines, I guess. We have just standard generic aspirin, non-aspirin. These will actually keep for a long time, well past their expiration date. And that's my own experience. You can also plus up on them if you want. I really like to include this. So they have some poison ivy, poison oak wipe in here. That's cool. I don't have that. Burn cream. That's really nice to have. This is better than I thought it was going to be. Burn cream is cool. Now, is this the best burn cream? Probably not. What I use is Burn Free. I think that's the name of it, gel. And I usually will have that in my level 2s. I don't know if I have it in mine, so it might have me beat there. Metalite, that's kind of cool. This is actually worth the money, what I'm seeing right here. Lip balm. So that's kind of a comfort thing. You could use it as a fire starter too. Insect protection cream, they're calling it. So it's basically insect repellent you have. Sorry if it's upside down. Tiny Band-Aids, these are worthless. I would get rid of those and just put full size. Band-Aids are probably going to be your most frequently used thing. Sunscreen lotion, that's really nice to have that. I don't think this is a bad kit, really. I really don't, for what it is. Basically a Neosporin type thing, antibiotic ointment, very important. Although I think you're better off to have a tube or maybe a vial of it, because once you open this, you don't want to waste it, but then how do you seal it? You don't. You close it back in and then it basically just squirts all over your kit and it's bad. One thing you could use these little tiny bandages for is a butterfly closure. And they don't weigh anything, so you probably could just keep them in. Oh, speak of the devil, there's a butterfly closure right there. I didn't know that was coming. These are bigger. This is nice. So good selection of Band-Aids, actually. That's pretty good. Man, this thing is better than I thought it was going to be. Adhesive strips, that's your tape. That is a really good pouch. I'm impressed with this for what it is. I mean, it's not a $100 kit, but it's got some stuff in it. And then we get to the wipes. The thing I found with anything that's like this is it dries out. So basically, in probably 2 years from the date of purchase, you're going to open one of these and they're going to be dry. So when they're new, it's okay. And we'll open up one just to take a look. So this is an antiseptic towelette. So these are small. It's a good way to, you know, basically clean an area, disinfect it to some degree. I'll wipe my hands off with it while I'm at it. They're small and like, see how it's windy right now? They dry out like that. I think you'd be better in your level 1 plus first aid kit to carry some Costco wipes. Those things are awesome. Costco antibacterial wipes are amazing, albeit they're not going to be this small. So again, a level 1 or 1 plus kit, this is a 1 plus. What we're trying to do is really make smart selections and minimize size and weight. How many we got of these? 6. I just opened one. A whole bunch of them actually. So we've got, what, 12 of these? That's pretty good, man. Granted, they're going to dry out pretty quick. Now, when they come in a foil pack like this, this will stay moist longer. I don't know this brand. So these are alcohol prep pads. This is a heart and soul, also of a level 1 kit. So it's really good. They gave you a selection of these. I'm impressed they have this many. Those are great. You can sterilize a knife, any type of cutting instrument. I'll sterilize a wound with them, although alcohol isn't ideal, but if it's between that and infection, I'll totally use and have used many times alcohol and it's worked just fine. Kind of some cheesy plastic tweezers. I'm not impressed with those. Hey, more sting relief. Awesome. And then we have, I think, tape. This is like medical tape. I'm not too impressed with that. It's like a 3/8 inch width roll. Motorcycle seat holding all the materials. Moleskin. I quit carrying moleskin because it doesn't work too good for me. Like that mountain I just showed you, I've hiked to the top of it. I got really bad blisters. I attempted to use moleskin and it totally peeled within my boot. It was garbage. What I ended up using after I dried my heel is Gorilla tape, brand duct tape. That worked good. So it's something that will really stick to the heel. Maybe you have better luck with moleskin, but I haven't so much. This doesn't weigh anything. It's very thin, easy to carry. I'd leave it in the kit. Who knows, you might get lucky with it. A couple safety pins. Usually you'll see safety pins when you have kind of a wraparound bandage or an ace bandage, and I don't see anything of the sort in the kit, so it's kind of strange. It's got some safety pins in here. Tongue depressors. And a pair of gloves. And then we got a couple Q-tips. That's the $15 first aid kit review, in-field, nutnfancy. From what I'm seeing, for the price considered, I'll give it 4 stars. I mean, this is a very inexpensive kit, and from what it has a really good starter selection for you that you can plus up and modify for your own needs. I like it. I just recommend it. It's a Be Smart, Get Prepared, 123 piece for, heck, it may have been less, maybe 13 bucks. Now we get into mine. And I didn't cherry pick this. This is literally coming out of the KTM loadout right now. So this is assigned to this motorcycle. I've built about 7 of these kits, and they stay with the mode of transportation. I have some rovers that will go hiking and in different systems, but the key to being prepared is you have a system ready. It's assigned to that vehicle or that system, and you don't move it, because what's going to happen is you're going to say, oh, I'm going to grab this, go hiking with it. You forget to put it back on your motorcycle. You're coming up that really steep rocky road, and you endo and you get a bleeder. You get a really bad gash, and now you don't have your level 1 plus first aid kit. So go ahead and spend the money. Maybe you buy some of these, modify them, and assign them to your vehicle. I think that's pretty smart, actually. But that's my philosophy, and I totally recommend you guys do the same thing. Build it, leave it, be happy. One thing, a big flaw that I see in this $15 kit is that there's no waterproof envelopes. Did you notice that? So everything's just kind of ramrodded in here, and it's basically, I think, designed for an SUV or somewhere where it's going to be dry. But again, remember Murphy's Law. So let's say you're going hiking. You're crossing a stream. This is in your day pack. And lo and behold, despite your best efforts, your pack comes off the back and you dump it, right? And it goes into the creek and everything gets freaking soaked, right? That's not ideal. So in my pack, in my level 1 kit, you'll see first up, really high quality, thick, really thick. These aren't bought from Walmart. I'll try to put a link below where I get these. These are like 5 mil plastic pouches, and they're perfect. And this is what the mainstay of my kit is in. Now there'll be some items that are outside of it that if they get wet, they'll still be functional, but the important stuff is in a waterproof pouch. So here we come to my heart and soul, and this is the blood stoppers. So you'll see that I have some more capabilities. I have some tampons, which I highly recommend. These are affordable, they're sterile, they'll soak up some blood. I've talked about them in multiple FAK vids. I have a large Band-Aid, so this will cover an area. These are actually very useful and very used in the woods. So maybe you have a big gash, but you don't want to like go with a big gauze pad and tape it all up. And this will work. Put this one on. I like it. And I didn't see anything of the sort in the level or this $15 kit. I have an abdominal pad. This one's an 8x10. Notice theirs was a 5x9, so I have more blood capability as much as I can fit in. And that's what I said in my level 1 plus, is I'm really cramming this thing as much as I can with I want some depth and some broad expanse of capabilities. So here's how many gauze sponges I have, or pads. Only have 4, but these are actually better quality than the ones in here. They're thicker. They're a name brand, Johnson & Johnson, which by the way is expensive. When you buy your kit contents, you're going to freak out at how expensive all this stuff is. It really is, and I said that in the FAK vids. Oh, I lied. I got more than that. Cool, I got a whole bunch. There's another one. And then I've got, here, this is what I was thinking of, the non-stick pad, and this is a 3x4, so I have a couple of those. Again, they go into a waterproof pouch. These pouches have served me very well, by the way. And I'll put this back together in a second. Let me grab it. It fell off. I'll probably just keep it rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Okay, so that was the bleeders. Actually, bleeder part 1. Oh, here we go. Like I said, I'm fitting as much as I can in. You can see I'm doing this cold turkey because I built this kit like 2 years ago. I have not been in it since, which is awesome, I think. Look at this. So I've got two more abdominal pads in here. I've got 2 more 4x4, and I've got a couple 3x3 pads in here. So that's in addition to what I just showed you. So that is a lot of blood stopping capability. And like I said in my videos, that's what you're going to find. If you come across an accident, someone hurt really bad, I mean, there's a lot of ways people can die, but bleeding out is definitely one of them. And severe gashes and cuts and stuff like that, I've come across. I'm using these the most. So this is experiential for me. The reason they're in my kit is because of what I've seen in the past. Go reference my video posted in 2009 called A Story of First Aid. Electrolytes. Now remember I told you that these wipes will dry out, and they will. These are still good. I can still feel the alcohol in them, and this is a great brand. The BD brand is excellent for alcohol swabs. It's my favorite. And I'll cram a bunch in there. You can see I have them loose because these can get wet and they'll still function. I should probably put them in a sub pouch, but I don't right now. But for my main liquids, I'll call them, I have them in here. So I have them in what are called test tubes or test vials. Oh, look at this. This one lid came off or loosened a little bit. See that? And because I had it in my waterproof pouch, it caught it. So I got to go home and top this off. This is hydrogen peroxide, which I still love. I know every time I talk about it, people go, you shouldn't put that on a wound. Again, I have before. It's been fine for a superficial wound. Thanks for caring about me, though. I appreciate it. Oh, here's burn gel right here. Speak of the devil. I do have it. I thought I didn't have it, but I do. Burn gel in a test tube right there. Crank that lid down. Test vials. And then I have calamine lotion here. And these will never dry out. Apparently their lids will come loose when you're riding on a bumpy road on a dual sport motorcycle. That will happen. Easy to fix though. See, that's a system right there, dudes. And believe it or not, that's a lot more than is in this $15 first aid kit. A lot more. I'm talking like I have a lot more liquid. Like each one of those little tiny swabs really doesn't have that much. Put that over here. We talked about the electrolytes. Everything's trying to fall off the motorcycle because I'm on a slanting terrain, of course. Here's my space blanket. So this is a much better, higher quality survival blanket, space blanket than the one you saw here. It basically dominates it. So this is Survive Outdoors Longer SOL, the brand. I really love these. It's saying 1 to 2 people. It does, I think, have some insulation in it. I love this blanket. I mean, it's not super light. It's definitely heavier, but it's going to give more warmth, a little bit of insulation. It's not going to tear as easily. It's dual color. They're saying 3.2 ounces for this version. Link below. Use it, put it in your kit. Look how flat that is too. So again, I'll say what I said about the one in this kit. You want to get some insulative materials. Fleece, down, polyester, even natural stuff like grasses like we're surrounded by right now. Before I end the video, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I threw these in because it was cheap. I found these. I've had mixed results with liquid skin bandages. Some are great, some aren't, but they don't weigh anything. And for a minor cut, it might be better than a Band-Aid that keeps coming off. Usually I have super glue in these. I don't know if I have one in here. We're gonna find out. Oh, dudes, this is what you have. So my level 1 plus, I keep a scalpel. It's a number 22 scalpel. This is how you cut things out when you don't want to mess around. So like if you have a good example, a thorn that went really deep into your foot, maybe your knife won't do it, or your knife is dull. This is how you do it. So, or you have to have some tissue removal that you just have to do what you have to do. Scalpel, doesn't weigh anything. I always put it in my level 1 plus, always. Here's my pills. And again, these will go past the expiration date. You're going to just let them expire. I don't care what anybody says online. They're like, well, you should replace those. Nobody does. Be honest, about every 5th year, I'll replace all the medicines in my first aid kits. And it's a pain in the butt and it's expensive, but I do it. They'll go past their expiration with, you know, maybe diminished effectiveness. I have some migraine relief pills in here. Those are awesome for headaches, and they have caffeine in them too. So if you need to stay awake, that's good. I got stool softeners in here. Motrin B, that's 200 milligrams of ibuprofen. These are extra strength Tylenol, I think. 500 mg. And notice how I bought a labeler. This is all me labeling these, because you may not be the one using the kit. You might be receiving the care, right? Right, so that's an important point. Label everything so people know what it is. And then I think these are loperamide pills for anti-diarrhea. I showed you the migraine relief already. Those are awesome for headaches, by the way. And those are my medicines for a level 1 kit. I mean, it's easy to get carried away and go, well, you should have this, you should have... No, I don't have room, dude. And better yet, I don't have a weight carrying capability. Even on this bike, because I brought up optics today and some tools, I just can't go hog wild. I think people who don't get out and like drive up the road, I came up on this motorcycle, it's real easy to understand that weight's not that important. But I probably had 50 pounds on the tail end of this motorcycle, and trust me, it was important. Almost dumped it. This is a little utility knife that has snap-off blades. I just bought this at a hardware store. I liked it. It's a backup to the scalpel, and again, it weighs nothing. It's a great way to cut whatever you want to cut. Maybe tissue if you have to. I would definitely use a scalpel first, but it could be clothing, it could be leather, and again, it doesn't weigh anything. So this is a relatively new addition to my level 1 pluses. I just bought them and threw them in there because look, they just fit perfect. I do have a mini ace bandage in here. This is self-clinging, so I don't need any safety pins on it. Here's my after bite solution. So I have more than this kit did. I gave it kudos because it did have some wipes. I have just this vial right here, and this stuff actually works pretty good. So if someone in your party gets stung by a hornet or something, maybe, I don't know, poison. I guess I said I didn't specifically have poison oak, but I kind of lied. I got this and I have calamine lotion, so I take that back. I do have some preparations. I'm just going cold turkey off this because I haven't looked at it for a while. This is Neosporin wrapped in red electrical tape, so it's more durable, and it's also wrapped in a waterproof pouch. And I have another mini wraparound gauze. Super cool. Didn't see any skizzers in that other kit. These are affordable. They're cheapo, I know, but they're lightweight, and they will work. They'll cut jeans off if you need to get to a break, something like that. And then we get to my Band-Aid section. Oh, what do you know? I have liquid skin in here already. I forgot to put it in there. And I have a lot. This is probably my favorite size, you might gather. I probably ought to put some more in there. I only got probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them. I could put some more in there. Alcohol swabs are in here. And this is how I carry my tape. So this is kind of the same thing I did in my level 1 plus first aid kit review, but as we're comparing, I'm going over it again. So no, I don't buy anything from REI anymore. I just use a card once upon a year. And this is my tape. I just wrap it around a card. You can use a hotel key card, whatever plastic you want, and then you have tape. I probably have put some more on there because I think I've used this once upon a year. And that brings us to another important point. Restock your kits. I talked about the replacement of meds, but that's different. Restocking means as soon as you use it, as soon as you get time, get back in your kit and go through it and say, I need to replace the following. And I think that's it. I have an index card I can write on, and I have writing materials always with my fanny pack that I have with me. So I used to duplicate them in my first aid kits, but I thought that was kind of overkill. And that's my kit, bros. Right there. So I think obviously my kit has more depth, higher quality materials, and more breadth too, probably even than this one. Although there are a couple things this one had that I don't have. It's going to maybe make me rethink it, but I'm kind of at max thickness right here, you know, with a higher quality space blanket and such. And I have my other gauze thing dumped out here in the hat. I got to put back here in a second. But bleeding capability to stop a major blood situation, that's key in my book. What you won't see in this one, usually, because this is a with rule of law kit, is I don't have a suturing capability in this one. It would be easy enough to put in, but my experience, like right now, let's say I have a really bad accident up here. I'm not that far from medical, especially with the people running around. Maybe those truck hunters could help me. Without rule of law, I'd probably put that in because now I have to become even more self-sustaining. There you go. But like I said, this kit right here, this Get Prepared, Be Prepared, or Get Smart, whatever the heck it's called, Be Smart, Get Prepared first aid kit, it's worth the money. It's a great starting point, and even if you ditch the container, it does have some stuff you could transfer to your own kit build. A lot of TMPers that I've talked to through the years said they've intended to build a kit, but they just never got around to it. Life gets busy, they have a lot of projects going on, they have a lot of, you know, irons in the fire. I get it. This is a good stopgap to get this, put it in your bike bag, mountain bike, whatever you're doing, Jeep, at least you have something. Now, if I'm in a vehicle, I'm gonna get something bigger than this, but this is more like a backpacking situation, or like I'm on right now, motorcycling. Is a $15 first aid kit worth it? The answer is yes, it is. It might be a great starting point. That's your answer. And again, links below. That I showed you the brand on that one. This is what I was talking about. The grasses. Use what nature gives you. This stuff right here. So you can use your survival knife or just pull them up like so. Stuff them into clothing. Then wrap up with that space blanket and create some DAM, Dead Airspace Management. Another TMP acronym made about 10 years ago. God, this is a beautiful area though. When you come up in the spring, it's all green. So it's been kind of a dry year. And there's a little tiny trail. I came up here with a motorcycle. It's a single track that goes right through this field. Awesome, so cool. Let's go out on the mountains. Maybe we can see our goat friends up there, just like we did in years past. I can't see them with a naked eye, but I think they're right above that stand of trees. I'm just guessing because it's so freaking bright out here. It's a bit hazy with the forest fires in the western states. Got another technical motorcycle ride out, but at least I have my first aid kit. Be prepared. Have peace of mind. Nut and fancy. See you later.